A message from the stars revealed the aliens who created humanity as an experiment. The first signal came unexpectedly. At exactly 3:17 Universal Time Coordinated, every major radio telescope on Earth picked up a wave of energy unlike anything ever recorded. Dr. Laila Ahmed, an astrophysicist working at the Global Space Observation Center, stared at the screen in disbelief. The signal was not random noise, it was a pattern, a language of pure mathematics. "It's intelligence," she whispered, her voice trembling. Her colleagues gathered around, equally stunned. They had seen thousands of cosmic phenomena before, but this was different. This was deliberate. Someone, or something, was trying to communicate. Within hours, the signal had been decoded into a basic set of instructions. A voice, or rather a translation algorithm, began speaking through the speakers, forming words in English that none of the scientists had programmed. "We have observed your species for 10,000 of your years. We are the architects. Humanity is our experiment." The room fell silent. Nobody moved. The idea was inconceivable. Aliens, claiming to have created humans as an experiment? Science fiction had nothing on this. Dr. Ahmed's mind raced. "Is this a joke?" she murmured, but the signal continued, unbroken and unwavering. "You were created from our essence. Your genetics, your intellect, your emotions, all derived from our design. We watched your evolution, guided your progress, and tested your capacity for morality, resilience, and creativity." The broadcast went beyond mere facts. It included visions, images of worlds that were impossibly far, galaxies swirling with color, and beings who looked vaguely humanoid but with energy pulsating through their forms. The aliens did not just speak, they revealed themselves. "You are approaching a critical threshold," the voice continued. "Your species must now choose whether to continue in your own path or to embrace the knowledge of your origins." Panic spread across social media, news networks, and governments. People around the globe watched in fear and fascination. Were these beings benevolent, or had they been manipulating humanity all along? In Washington, President Eleanor Martinez convened an emergency meeting with the United Nations Security Council. Military advisors, scientists, and ethicists argued over whether humanity should respond. Some feared that acknowledging the message would invite an invasion. Others believed that refusing knowledge would be a historical crime. Meanwhile, Dr. Ahmed and her team worked tirelessly to interpret the next layer of the message. Unlike the initial transmission, this section contained something far more personal: genetic codes. The aliens had provided a map of humanity's DNA, showing modifications, patterns, and markers that were undeniably artificial. Every human carried a trace of their creators. "You are our reflection," the message said. "Every thought, every action, is the result of our experiments. But now, you may decide your fate." Across the globe, people reacted in different ways. Some saw the message as proof of God, reimagined through the lens of extraterrestrial intelligence. Others felt violated, as if the truth of their own existence had been stolen from them. Conspiracy theorists celebrated, claiming they had been right all along. Yet in the midst of chaos, Dr. Ahmed felt a strange sense of clarity. Humanity had been watched, yes, but never told before. The aliens were giving them a choice. Knowledge, she realized, was both a gift and a burden. "To those who seek understanding," the signal continued, "we will reveal the laboratory of your creation. You must decide if you are ready to witness your origins." The broadcast ended with coordinates, pointing to a location deep in the asteroid belt. Governments scrambled spacecraft programs, private companies offered funding, and millions of civilians dreamed of seeing the truth. Dr. Ahmed knew that the journey ahead would not just redefine science, it would redefine what it meant to be human. The world held its breath as humanity prepared its first journey to the asteroid belt. Months of planning had compressed into frantic weeks. Private space agencies and governments worked together under unprecedented cooperation, sending unmanned probes first, then planning a manned mission. Dr. Laila Ahmed was chosen to lead the scientific team. Alongside her were engineers, biologists, linguists, and even philosophers. Every member of the team understood that this was not just exploration, it was an encounter with the origin of human existence. The spacecraft, named Aurora, was a marvel of human engineering, but it felt fragile against the infinite darkness of space. As they left Earth, millions watched the launch live. Some prayed for success, others feared what awaited humanity beyond the veil of stars. Days turned into weeks as Aurora traveled through the void. The signal guided them, pulsing through space, stronger as they approached the coordinates. Then, the asteroid belt appeared, a chaotic field of rock and ice orbiting the sun. But at the center of the mapped location, something unnatural emerged. A structure unlike any asteroid, perfectly geometric, glowing with faint energy. "It's artificial," whispered Dr. Ahmed. The ship's cameras captured the enormity of the structure. It stretched for miles, a lattice of metal and light, suspended in space as if it had always been waiting. The alien signal activated once more. This time, the message was auditory and visual simultaneously. The beings appeared, luminous and ethereal, hovering within the structure. They communicated without words at first, their presence directly interacting with the humans' thoughts. "Welcome, children of the experiment," the voice echoed in their minds. "You have arrived at the laboratory of your creation." The team entered the structure. Inside, gravity was strange, flowing in waves rather than directionally. Holographic images of Earth appeared in the air, showing moments in history, evolution, and human milestones. Every discovery, invention, and catastrophe had been observed, catalogued, and sometimes subtly guided by the architects. One of the team members, Dr. Jamal Rivera, pointed at the display. "Look at this, every major event, every turning point in history. It's as if someone nudged humanity forward." "Indeed," the aliens responded. "Your species has been nurtured, tested, and observed. We monitored your moral development, your capacity for empathy, and your ability to create meaning. All were part of the experiment." Dr. Ahmed felt a shiver run down her spine. "But why? Why create us and then leave us to struggle?" "To understand potential," the aliens replied. "We wish to see if a species could reach self-awareness, ethical reasoning, and creativity without our constant intervention. You were our greatest experiment because you were given freedom." The aliens guided the humans further into the structure. Rooms appeared filled with genetic archives, showing the manipulation of DNA over millennia. Some humans had sequences altered for intelligence, some for emotional capacity, others for resilience. Every individual carried a signature of alien engineering, though expressed uniquely in each person. "You are more than you realize," the voice continued. "Your creativity, your art, your science, these are reflections of our design, yes, but also of your choices. This is the ultimate test, to see if our creation can transcend the hands that formed it." The team struggled with the enormity of this revelation. Humanity was not purely natural, yet it was not enslaved. They had autonomy, but the framework of their existence had been pre-written. Dr. Ahmed realized the implication. Every human was part of a living experiment, yet capable of surpassing it. "Now," the aliens said, "you must decide. Will you continue unaware of your origin, or will you embrace this knowledge and take responsibility for the next stage of your evolution?" Silence filled the chamber. The choice was not just scientific, it was existential. The humans could walk away, return to Earth, and live in blissful ignorance. Or they could embrace the truth, bearing the weight of knowing they were creations, and yet, creators of their own future. Dr. Ahmed looked at her team. Each face reflected fear, awe, and curiosity. Humanity's fate was no longer dictated solely by earthly concerns. The experiment was entering its next phase, and for the first time, the humans held the power to shape it themselves. "We await your decision," the aliens said. The humans followed the glowing pathways deeper into the alien structure. Gravity shifted like waves, yet they walked without fear, guided by an unseen force. The walls themselves seemed alive, displaying streams of data, galactic coordinates, timelines, and the evolution of countless species across the universe. "These are the chronicles of all civilizations we have observed," the alien's voice resonated in their minds. "You were the experiment closest to our ideal, for you were given freedom unlike others." Dr. Ahmed felt a chill. Freedom, yet under observation. Humanity had believed in independence, yet every choice had been watched, analyzed, and stored. The realization was both humbling and terrifying. They entered the largest chamber yet. Holographic projections of early humans appeared, showing moments that had long been lost to time. The first use of tools, the building of the first fires, the rise of agriculture. But interwoven with these images were anomalies, tiny nudges in the environment, shifts that seemed coincidental but were clearly intentional. Every advancement, every discovery you believed was natural, was guided by us, the aliens said. "We were curious. Would a species, given the smallest push, reach its full potential without overt intervention. Dr. Rivera, the geneticist, stepped closer to a display showing DNA strands. Look at this, segments marked with unknown coding. Some of these align with advanced neural capacities. Others influence emotional resilience. We've all been designed. Not fully, the aliens replied. You have autonomy. Your consciousness, your choices, your creativity, they are your own. We only provided the framework. Without your will, this experiment would have failed. The room shifted, revealing a chamber filled with life forms suspended in translucent containers. Some resembled humans, others entirely alien, each labeled with a timestamp and a set of traits. It was a gallery of experiments, each one a different approach to understanding sentience and morality. Dr. Ahmed's heart raced. We're not alone in this. Humanity is only one of many trials. Indeed, the voice said. Many species have been created, many allowed to evolve, some guided, some abandoned. You, however, were given the rarest gift, self-determination. A screen flickered, displaying Earth in its current state. Cities, forests, oceans, and deserts all appeared in exquisite detail. The aliens paused on moments of human conflict and triumph, wars, acts of compassion, art, and invention. Every choice you make shapes the experiment, the aliens said. Your morality, your empathy, your courage, all are variables we observe. The greatest test is yet to come. Dr. Ahmed's mind struggled with the weight of knowledge. If humanity was an experiment, did their suffering matter? Did their love, ambition, and pain hold significance beyond observation? You now face a decision beyond knowledge, the aliens continued. You can choose to continue as before, unaware of your origins, or you can step into a new role as conscious participants. The latter will require courage, wisdom, and unity. The team huddled together. Dr. Rivera's voice trembled. If we embrace this, we carry responsibility, not just for ourselves, but for the future of our species. Can we handle that? Dr. Ahmed looked at the projections of human history, at the mistakes and triumphs alike. We have to. Knowledge without action is meaningless. We cannot unsee what we have learned, and perhaps we were never meant to. The next step is ours to define. The alien's presence pulsed with energy. So be it. You have chosen awareness. We will guide you further, but only if you work together. Division will end the experiment prematurely. The chamber shifted again, revealing a glowing doorway leading to what appeared to be the heart of the structure. Energy flowed like liquid, connecting every corridor, every archive, and every chamber. It was a living network, a mind of the architects themselves. Within lies the knowledge to shape your future, the aliens said. But beware, power without wisdom can destroy as easily as it can create. Dr. Ahmed took a deep breath. The choice had been made. Humanity would no longer be passive. They would step forward, into the unknown, into the heart of their own creation. And somewhere deep in the structure, the aliens watched, not as tyrants, but as mentors, waiting to see if their experiment could rise beyond the sum of its parts. The glowing doorway led the humans into a chamber unlike any they had seen. Energy pulsed through the walls, creating a sensation of warmth and awareness. The floor seemed alive, vibrating slightly as if responding to their presence. Dr. Ahmed realized they had entered the very core of the alien structure, a place where creation itself seemed tangible. This is the heart of creation. The alien's voice resonated in their minds. Here lies the ability to observe, to learn, and to choose the path of your species. Here, you may access knowledge that was once beyond human comprehension. The chamber contained a sphere of pure light, floating in midi. Within it, swirling patterns of galaxies, planets, and life forms moved like living diagrams. The aliens gestured toward it, and a beam of energy extended toward Dr. Ahmed and her team. Touch it, the voice instructed. See the threads of your creation. Understand how you came to be, and how you may shape what is yet to come. With hesitant hands, the team reached toward the sphere. Instantly, visions filled their minds. They saw their earliest ancestors, the moment of the first genetic modifications, the subtle interventions that guided evolution, and the countless variables the aliens had monitored. Humanity had never been alone in its journey. It had always been part of a larger design. Dr. Rivera gasped. It's beautiful. And terrifying. We were never just humans, we were intended to be something greater. Greater, yes, the aliens replied. But only if you choose to embrace your potential responsibly. The next stage of the experiment is yours to lead. The sphere then shifted, showing potential futures for humanity. Some were bleak: war, environmental collapse, and self-destruction. Others were radiant: interstellar exploration, unity, and creation of new worlds. Every choice they made rippled outward, influencing which path would become reality. Dr. Ahmed realized the full weight of the message. This isn't just about understanding our past. They've given us the power to determine the future. But with that power comes responsibility. Yes, the aliens said. Knowledge is meaningless without wisdom. You may choose to evolve beyond your original design, or remain as you are. But know this, the experiment was never just about observation. It was about your capacity to transcend your limitations. Questions arose among the team. Could they alter their own DNA? Should they guide humanity consciously, knowing the consequences? The aliens' technology offered the tools, but not the answers. Every modification carried risks and moral implications. Dr. Ahmed turned to her team. We have to decide carefully. Every choice affects not just us, but every human being on Earth. We are no longer passive subjects. We are participants. We must act with wisdom, or all will be lost. The aliens remained silent for a moment, letting the humans understand their responsibility. Then, with a gentle pulse, they spoke. We have given you insight. We will not interfere further unless asked. The next stage is yours. Choose wisely, and you may become the species we hoped you could be. The team spent days in the heart of creation, exploring simulations, reviewing histories, and discussing the moral dilemmas of altering humanity. They debated which traits should be enhanced, which behaviors encouraged, and which mistakes should be avoided. Every decision was a balance between potential and ethics. As the humans prepared to leave the chamber, the aliens offered one final instruction. Remember, freedom and responsibility are inseparable. You were created, yes, but you have the power to become creators yourselves. Do not squander it. Dr. Ahmed nodded, feeling a strange mixture of fear and exhilaration. Humanity had been an experiment for millennia, but now it had the chance to step fully into its own destiny. As they left the heart of creation, the aliens faded from their vision, leaving the humans alone, but not powerless. The knowledge, the technology, and the responsibility were theirs. Earth awaited, and with it, the opportunity to redefine what it meant to be human. The journey back would not be easy. Humanity now carried the weight of its origins and the burden of the future. But for the first time, the team felt the true power of their species' choice. The journey back to Earth was quiet. The Aurora glided through space, carrying the team whose minds were overflowing with knowledge. Each member struggled with the enormity of what they had learned. Humanity was no longer just a species, it was a conscious experiment. And now the experiment had evolved into something new. Dr. Ahmed looked out at the stars. Everything we knew about ourselves, it's changed forever, she said. Her voice was calm, but inside, her thoughts raced. Could humanity handle the truth? Could society survive knowing it had been created, observed, and guided by beings far older and wiser than themselves? As Earth grew closer, the signal from the aliens returned briefly, a reminder that the architects were watching. Remember, their voice echoed, your actions will define the next stage of your species. Lead wisely, and the universe will open to you. Fail, and your experiment ends here. When the Aurora landed, the world was waiting. Governments had prepared for their return, but no one could have anticipated what the crew would reveal. Dr. Ahmed stepped onto the launch platform, facing cameras, microphones, and millions of people watching live. We have seen our origins, she began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. We were created, guided, and observed by beings from beyond the stars. Humanity is not simply a product of chance, it is the result of intention, design, and experimentation. But with this knowledge comes responsibility. The announcement sparked chaos. Some people celebrated, believing in a newfound connection to the cosmos. Others panicked, feeling betrayed that their lives were manipulated. Religious and political leaders clashed, each interpreting the revelation in their own way. Conspiracy theories exploded into mainstream discourse. Dr. Ahmed's team worked tirelessly to provide scientific evidence, DNA sequences, records from the alien archives, and simulations from the heart of creation. Slowly, humanity began to accept the truth. They were created, but not enslaved. The aliens had given them freedom, and now it was up to humans to decide what to do with it. The team also began introducing alien technology carefully. Devices that could accelerate learning, simulate future scenarios, and explore space faster than ever were shared with select institutions. The goal was clear. Humanity must be prepared to step into the next phase of its existence without repeating the mistakes of the past. But challenges arose immediately. Nations argued over who controlled the technology, fear spread of misuse, and ethical debates raged about altering human DNA or enhancing abilities. The world had been handed a gift, and a test, and it was unclear if humanity was ready to pass. Dr. Ahmed addressed her team one evening as they reviewed data. "The aliens didn't just give us knowledge," she said. "They gave us a mirror. They showed us what we could become. And it's terrifying, but also incredible. The experiment is no longer theirs, it's ours." The first steps were small. Global education systems incorporated new insights about the universe. Scientists worked openly across borders. Efforts to heal the environment and reduce conflict gained momentum. Slowly, humanity began to realize the potential of its origins and the responsibility that came with it. Yet not everyone embraced the path forward. Some groups rejected the alien message entirely, claiming humanity should remain ignorant, fearing the consequences of playing God with its own evolution. Tensions rose, and Dr. Ahmed knew the struggle to unify humanity under shared vision had only begun. The alien experiment had given humanity a choice: repeat past mistakes and remain trapped in cycles of ignorance, or rise above, guided by knowledge and responsibility. The next chapter of human history was beginning, and this time, the architects had stepped back. Humanity was free. And for the first time, the world realized that freedom carried weight, and knowledge carried power. Months had passed since the Aurora returned. Humanity was changing, slowly but undeniably. Schools integrated lessons about the cosmos, ethics, and human origins. Scientists experimented with alien technology to advance medicine, energy, and communication. Cities were beginning to transform with sustainable designs inspired by alien engineering. Yet, with progress came conflict. Not all nations or groups welcomed the changes. Some feared that tampering with human biology or adopting alien technology would destroy humanity's essence. Others sought to weaponize it. The knowledge the aliens had shared was a gift, but also a test. Dr. Ahmed's team worked tirelessly to mediate. They formed the Global Council for Humanity's Advancement, GCHA, aiming to ensure that knowledge was applied responsibly. Meetings often lasted for hours, debating ethical questions. Should humans alter their DNA to enhance intelligence or longevity? Could emotional manipulation or moral enhancement be justified? What limits should be placed on space exploration and colonization using alien technology? One evening, Dr. Rivera asked quietly, "Are we even ready for this? Maybe the aliens made a mistake giving us this knowledge." Dr. Ahmed shook her head. "No, they didn't make a mistake. They tested us, and now it's our turn. We decide what to do with it. And yes, it's terrifying. But growth always is." Meanwhile, small groups of humans who had embraced the alien technology began demonstrating extraordinary abilities. Some could process information at impossible speeds. Others exhibited intuition and creativity that bordered on precognition. The world began to realize that evolution was accelerating, and not everyone was comfortable with the consequences. Amidst these changes, the aliens reappeared, not physically, but through the signal. Their presence was gentle but firm. "You are progressing," they said. "Yet your choices must align with unity, not division. Knowledge without cooperation is destruction." This message reminded humanity that the experiment was ongoing. The aliens were not controlling the outcome, they were observing, guiding subtly, and waiting to see if humans could rise to the responsibility of their own creation. Dr. Ahmed realized a deeper truth: humanity was not just a species, it was a turning point. The aliens' experiment was a question posed to the universe. Could a created species transcend its origins and become truly autonomous? The team began working on a global initiative called the Nexus Project, designed to integrate alien knowledge with human ethics, creating systems that could balance technological advancement with moral responsibility. It was an ambitious plan, and the world watched closely. But opposition grew. Extremist groups rejected the alien message entirely, calling it blasphemy or manipulation. They sabotaged research facilities, incited riots, and spread fear. Dr. Ahmed knew that humanity's next test would not be in outer space, but within its own society. The experiment was not just about knowledge, It was about character. One night, as she gazed at the stars, Dr. Ahmed received a private message through the alien signal. A vision appeared, an image of countless worlds, civilizations rising and falling, some reaching greatness, others self-destructing. Among them was Earth, fragile and radiant, with its potential yet to be fully realized. "You were created," the aliens said, "but now you may create yourselves. Do not squander this chance." The words stayed with her. Humanity had inherited power, knowledge, and responsibility. Every choice they made would echo through the ages, shaping not only their future but the experiment that had defined their existence. Dr. Ahmed whispered to herself, "We are no longer subjects. We are creators, and it is up to us to prove that we are worthy." Humanity's progress had been remarkable, but it came at a cost. Tensions between nations, ideologies, and factions had grown. Some embraced alien knowledge fully, seeking to accelerate evolution. Others resisted, fearing loss of identity or moral corruption. The world teetered on the edge of chaos. Then came the crisis. A massive asteroid, previously undetected, was on a collision course with Earth. It was not the largest such threat humanity had faced, but its trajectory was precise and its timing alarming. The world had only months to respond. Dr. Ahmed and the GCHA sprang into action. Using alien technology, they designed a defense system that combined advanced propulsion, energy manipulation, and predictive algorithms. But the technology was complex, requiring unprecedented global cooperation. No single nation could execute it alone. At the UN headquarters, delegates argued fiercely. Some nations wanted to seize the technology for themselves. Others demanded that the plan be abandoned, fearing that the tools could be weaponized. Humanity's first true test was not theoretical, it was literal, a matter of survival. Dr. Ahmed addressed the council. "This is more than a physical threat," she said. "It is a test of who we are. The aliens gave us knowledge, yes, but it is only meaningful if we act together. Our unity, cooperation, and ethics are what will determine if we survive." Volunteers from every corner of the globe came forward. Engineers, scientists, soldiers, and civilians all worked together, guided by the Nexus Project systems. Teams in orbit, on Earth, and even deep underground coordinated in ways that had never been attempted before. As the asteroid drew nearer, humanity held its collective breath. The alien signal returned, this time calm and firm. "This is the final stage of observation," they said. "Your actions now define the experiment. Show that you are capable of choosing wisely, beyond your origins." For days, the work was relentless. Failures occurred, mistakes were made, and moments of despair threatened to overwhelm the teams. Yet, step by step, humanity adapted, learning from errors, refining strategies, and applying alien knowledge with care and wisdom. Then came the decisive moment. The defense system activated. Streams of energy flowed toward the asteroid, bending its trajectory, fragmenting parts of it, and ultimately diverting it safely away from Earth. The planet was saved. Cheers erupted across the globe, but Dr. Ahmed felt a deeper satisfaction. The victory was not just in averting disaster, it was in humanity's ability to act collectively, responsibly, and courageously. They had passed the first real test of their autonomy. The alien signal pulsed one last time. "You have proven that knowledge, freedom, and unity can coexist. You were created as an experiment, yes, but now you are creators in your own right. Your species may continue, not as subjects, but as architects of your destiny." Dr. Ahmed looked at her team. Tears filled some eyes, exhaustion lined their faces, but every one of them understood the truth. Humanity had been reborn. Not as a passive creation, but as active participants in the cosmos. "The experiment is complete," the aliens continued, "but the journey has only begun. You are free to define your future, guided by wisdom, courage, and compassion. Never forget that these are the tools that make you worthy of life itself." Humanity had faced its crucible, and in the fires of challenge, it had proven itself capable. The experiment had ended, but the adventure of self-determined existence was only beginning. And as Dr. Ahmed gazed at the stars, she knew one thing with certainty. Humanity would never be the same again. The asteroid crisis had passed, and the world began to settle into a new reality. Humanity had faced its first true test since discovering its origins, and had succeeded. But there was no time for complacency. The knowledge of the aliens, the understanding of their creation, and the responsibilities they now carried demanded action. The Global Council for Humanity's Advancement, GCHA, expanded, incorporating representatives from every nation, every field of knowledge, and even ethicists from previously opposing factions. Their mission was clear: guide humanity toward a future that honored freedom, responsibility, and wisdom. Dr. Ahmed addressed the council. "We are no longer merely observers of our own evolution," she said. "We are participants, creators, and caretakers of our destiny. The aliens gave us a choice, and we have proven we can rise to it. But our true journey is only beginning." Humanity's first steps were careful but ambitious. Cities were rebuilt with advanced energy systems. Medical breakthroughs eliminated previously incurable diseases. Education expanded globally, incorporating lessons about ethics, the cosmos, and the responsibility that came with knowledge. Humanity was beginning to live consciously, aware of its potential. Space exploration accelerated. Ships inspired by alien technology ventured to other star systems, seeking knowledge, resources, and allies. The humans who once dreamed of the stars now traveled among them, not as subjects, but as equals in the cosmic arena. Yet humanity remained humble. They knew that power without wisdom could lead to destruction. Ethical councils ensured that technology was used to uplift, not dominate. Conflicts were mediated with diplomacy guided by knowledge of human psychology, morality, and the lessons of their alien creators. Dr. Ahmed often reflected on the aliens' final words: "You are free to define your future, guided by wisdom, courage, and compassion. Never forget that these are the tools that make you worthy of life itself." And humanity remembered. They understood that freedom was inseparable from responsibility, and knowledge was inseparable from choice. Every decision, from individual actions to global policy, was weighed with the understanding that they were the architects of their own destiny. In time, humanity formed connections with other civilizations the aliens had observed. They shared knowledge, culture, and exploration, learning from one another while contributing their own discoveries. Humanity was no longer a small, isolated experiment. It was a thriving participant in a larger cosmic community. Dr. Ahmed gazed at the night sky, her thoughts wandering across the infinite stars. Humanity had been created, observed, and tested. But now, they were no longer a passive experiment. They were creators, explorers, and stewards of life and knowledge. And as new generations looked up at the sky, they no longer asked, "Who created us?" Instead, they asked, "What will we create next?" The message from the stars had revealed the truth about their origins, but it also offered the greatest gift of all: the power to shape their own future. Humanity had begun its true journey. The experiment had ended, but the adventure had only begun.